Yo, what's good? It's your boy Maestro, and you're watching Delay a Game Hoops.
What's going on? It's Delaybaro here with the first edition. Who got the juice now? A new podcast talking about all the trending teams and trending players that caught my eye recently. Guys are on fire. Guys have a breakout season. Teams that are just making waves with the Orlando Magic.
Yo, you got the juice now, man.
And that's usually not. It's reserved for usually one player, but you gotta check out this whole team. The Magic are just firing on all cylinders this year. The number 2 seed in the East, I don't think anybody saw that coming. This is a team that, they didn't really add too much in the offseason in terms of like a big free agent splash, but it's just internal growth and, their young players taking that next step. And really their coach as well, Jamal Moses, done a great job with them. He's somebody who I feel like is an underrated coach. He's assistant for 14 years in the league. And as a players coach, he's somebody that they would, definitely a young team would flock to. And they have an identity. You see them on defense just flying around. They have guys like Jalen Suggs, who has definitely taken that second-year leap. See Cole Anthony right there. He's embraced his role off the bench. And for me, the toughest thing is for role players embracing their roles. For young teams, that's really tough to do. I mean, for a veteran team, you can have guys who've been in the league, have had tenure, and, they are they know themselves as players. They know exactly what they can bring to the team. For the Magic going into the year, you didn't really get the sense that that was the case. There's a lot of young guys, I thought at least, that, would need time or need to be able to develop in order to, contribute the way that they need them to. I think the best example for the Magic right now is the fact that, you have guys in their right spots. Cole Anthony, instead of him manning the point full time, like he's your sixth man. He's your guy that gets the offense going in the second unit. You got Mo Wagner. Even though he could start with Franz, even with Wendell Carter Jr. out, he's still coming off the bench because he's another guy who can bring that spark off the bench. Same with Cole Anthony. And then obviously you can play with his brother Franz and, have that two-man game going. But it's a fun young team. I love the way they play. They get out and run. They play defense. They definitely love playing with each other. And that's something that the chemistry is, for young teams, once again, like you don't see it that often. You see it with OKC this year, but Orlando, their defensive chemistry and the way that their veterans are buying into roles too, like the young guys. I mean, Anthony Black is a rookie. They drafted first round this year out of Arkansas. The past couple of years, they've been drafting guys at the same position where you think it's going to be a conflict. They drafted Franz Wagner, and then they went Paolo Carroll, number 1 pick. Obviously, he was the best talent that year. It made sense. And then, the years before that, they had Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, and they added Anthony Black. And it's like, you already have Markelle Fultz. There's too many guards, but look at the way they play. Each of them brings something different to the table. And the fact that, once again, they're able to buy into these roles, it makes them that much scarier as a team. And you see Anthony Black starting in the absence of Markelle Fultz and being able to duplicate some of the stuff he brings to the table in terms of being ready on defense. It's just a team that's full of young guys who have accepted roles. And that's been, I think, Jamal Mosley's biggest accomplishment this year, because they're so ready. They're ready to win because they're in the right spots. They're not just over here, trying to do too much or, trying to go outside of what they're capable of. And the fact that they already commit to the defensive end, that's the toughest thing for a young team most of the time. Like, you can't really teach that all the time. Like, that's something that they have to get through experience. But the fact that they are willing to lock down the defensive end and have that identity puts them in a different zone as a team. I'm not going to lie. I thought they're going to be better this year, but, I mean, nobody expected them to be, the 2 seed and be in a fight for home court advantage or anything like that. Like, even if they don't actually capture the 2 or 3 seed, obviously they're probably not going to catch the Celtics. The Celtics are so stacked this year. The fact that they're in the running for the 3 and 4, and the fact that they're just returning to the playoffs, first off, they're kind of reminiscent of the Kings from last year, but they, De'Aaron Fox is superstar this year. Domantas Sabonis is, made the All-Star team for the second time last year. He's a perennial All-Star here, at least has perennial All-Star caliber numbers. The Magic, they have guys who are breaking through as stars. All-Star game comes around this year. You can go Paolo, you can go Franz. They have 2 guys who have a chance to actually make that game. And then once you just add in other candidates, you have obviously the coach Jamal Mosley and the coach of the year running. But then you have Cole Anthony, He was in a six-man of the year running. Same with his teammate Mo. So they have a lot of guys once again who have just added a lot to their game. And to me, the player that really has stood out the most is Jalen Suggs. That's the guy who kind of galvanizes them. He's somebody who draws a lot of comparisons to Marcus Smart. I like that a lot too. He's graduated to star underdog territory. That's one of the key terms on Delay of Game Hoops. That's reserved for the high quality role players. And they already have a few other star underdogs. You would put Cole Anthony in that category. Mo Wagner, the way he's playing this year. They have a few guys in that reign of in that vein of being just high quality role players you can depend on. Guys who can get after on both ends too. And, that's, once again, like I said, for a young team, that's the toughest part. Having a young team buy in defensively is not easy. And the fact that they're young guards and guys who are able to make plays on both ends, the fact that they can come in and, actually spark plays. You see Jalen Suggs all the time, like with his facilitating and then being able to, get steals on the break, kick it over to Franz or kick it up to Cole Anthony or Paolo. These guys are willing and able to work with each other because they're so unselfish and they've already bought in on the defensive end. So I'm impressed with them. I think they can go far. I think they definitely have a chance to. They're definitely going to make the playoffs at this point. You don't really have this type of start and then fall out. I just want to see them maintain above anything that 1 to 6 spot. I don't think they're going to slide all the way out of 6, but it's so early in the season, it's tough to say. But for a team on 9-game winning streak just got snapped as tied a franchise record, and you already have these young guys playing with so much energy, and they're winning through injuries. You already have injuries to Markelle Fultz. He's been out for a minute. And Anthony Black just came in seamlessly. Cole Anthony wasn't complaining about not starting. So once again, there's no ego there. These are young guys who are trying to win. And this team, they haven't had a winner. They haven't been to the playoffs since they traded Vooch, but they're on a faster rebuild than, my Bulls. You see, they're on a better track. They're on a better standing in terms of where the franchise can go immediately and then in the future. But like I said, I liken them to the Sacramento Kings. That's a team that, that's a good comparison because they're a young team that broke through last year, but it's a different situation because, once again, Fox on the cusp of stardom. Domantas Sabonis was a star. And these guys are, Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner are developing into stars right now and have these really good role players around them. And I'll be remiss if I didn't, give a shout out to the veterans on the team. Gary Harris, Joe Ingles, Jonathan Isaac, who's done a great job defensively. All of them have their roles. Gary Harris comes in, knocks shots, defends. Obviously, Joe Ingles can make plays and he can make plays for others and then knock down jumpers. And then Jonathan Isaac, who's, actually getting back into action after missing so much time the last 3 years, really. He's just like that defensive Swiss Army knife. And he's discovering his offense with this team. He doesn't have to shoot too much, doesn't have to do too much, but he's able to chip in when necessary, hit the corner 3, get out on the break, gets a lot of blocks, a lot of steals. It's a fun team to watch. It's a team that you definitely want to keep an eye on as the season goes along. Because the Magic, if they start to believe that they can win against anyone, which I already believe that that's the case, the way they're playing, their confidence is so high, I think it's going to be interesting to see how far they can go because this isn't a team that, you are ready for in a way, if that makes sense. Like it's not a team that's been at the top recently or that you even thought would be here. So they're still in the process of catching people by surprise each night. Even though their record's good and they're the 2 seed, they're still going to be catching teams by surprise on a nightly basis, being able to come out with wins when other teams might, in the past, obviously last year, and the years before, just circled that as an easy W. So, no, that's a team that, I think can be good the entire year, and it's definitely a team to watch for me. We're going to stay in the Southeast Division with the Miami Heat forward Jaime Jaquez Jr.
Yo. You got the juice now, man.
Hey, Jaime Jaquez is cold. It's funny. I actually saw him play in high school a long time ago at Sierra Canyon. Sierra Canyon, the year they had Scottie Pippen Jr. I think he was 3rd or 4th year. Cassius Stanley was a senior. Kenyon Martin Jr. Who else? They had Amari Bailey, who was a freshman, Christian Coloco, who wasn't on anyone's radar at that point. They all had him on the same team, and they had Jaime Jaquez Jr. and his team come. I forgot what school he played for, but they played Sierra Canyon. I saw this guy, and he was ranked at the time, so he was definitely on people's radars. I didn't know too much about him before that game, but he just had a game that belonged from the start. You could tell that a mature game that's just translating a lot to the league, and you see it with the way he's playing. What's going on? It's Jabari, aka Delaybaro, and you're watching Delay Game Hoops. He's really been expected to score since Tyler Hero went down, and that's somebody who was having a great year himself. I think averaging over 25 or close to 25 before he went down with the ankle injury. And Jaquez has kind of stepped in and, been able to provide at least double digits. He's averaging 12 for the season, which, once again, I don't think anybody saw that coming as well. The Heat always draft well, so it's not surprising that he's working out as a prospect. I think everybody had an idea that he would work out as a prospect because of the Heat. They scout so well, and he just kind of seems like a Heat player. If you were to, pinpoint his ideal destinations, he even said it recently that he wanted to come to Miami, but even if you were just, evaluating for the draft, you would think a team like Miami or, a team just with a great culture, just a good fit for somebody who's just tough-minded and, basically good at everything. I don't see many weaknesses in this game. He's been efficient this year, shooting 52%. He's shown himself as an elite role player. His dog tags for the season, he's a rookie, but then he's also a star underdog. So he's already a high-quality role player as a rook, which, that's rare. You don't see that often where usually rooks are tied to future top dogs, which is future go-to guy, future star. I wouldn't even be crazy to put him in that category because who knows? His upside could be more immediate in Miami because they need that help. And he's shown the ability to, come in, obviously contribute right away. But that's why, you draft such a mature prospect. He went 4 years at UCLA. He was an extremely good college player. I watched him a lot. I'm a USC Trojans alum, so I got a chance to see Jaquez play a lot at UCLA. He's just really solid. He's really good in the mid-range area. He hasn't shown that ton so far this year. See that right there. Nice fake on very good defender in Chris Middleton. He's really good at making subtle moves, but they're deliberate and confident. So he's not out there he's very sure of himself as a basketball player, let's put it like that, but not in a way where he's trying to do too much. So it's like the perfect blend of somebody who has talent, but they're not trying to, and I wouldn't say abuse the talent, but they're not trying to trick themselves or outthink themselves in the moment. He's acting off of instincts. You see, I love that subtle move he does on the break. See, check this outlet pass from K-Love. It's that quick little fake, the stop, and then goes up the lay. It's just stuff like that. You don't see that often, first off. It's just, that comes with being very seasoned as a basketball player. He's not somebody who, needs a couple years to adjust. Maybe we thought, or what I thought before, this year, I thought that he would have to adjust a little bit to the physicality. He's not a small guy, but the NBA is a lot different. He's not a super elite athlete, pretty good athlete, but, NBA athleticism is different, especially on a nightly basis. But he's fit in seamlessly. He's proved, I think, everybody wrong who, doubted him, which was a lot of people because he fell at number 18. But, it's a situation of, having been able to play right away. But it's funny. I think if he would have got drafted by any other team, he would have been playing rotational minutes at the very least. It's the fact that he's playing so well right now, and he's in a more featured role. So he's scoring upwards of 15, 18 points a night when he's got it going. And once again, he's taking smart shots. He's rebounding. He's passing the ball. He's averaging 3 assists a game almost. That behind the back dribble is, you see the fake, the footwork. It's funny, they were talking about the TNT broadcast. Shaq was on it. They're doing the in-season tournament. And they're just talking about his fundamentals. And Reggie, obviously is a UCLA alum. So, he was just lauding the fundamentals he learned at UCLA. But he really does have crazy good footwork. And he's, like I said, everything he does just seems like he's done this a million times. And that's rare for a rookie. But obviously these days, a lot of guys come out after a year or, sometimes 2 years, which is pretty rare for a pretty high-level prospect. And they're still learning their games. A lot of them are great at things, but it's the confidence and the confidence in the situational NBA team because he's coming in off the bench before this year, and I think he's still coming off the bench right now. And he's not out there like, okay, well, I'm playing with Jimmy Butler, I'm playing with Bam Adebayo, I got to defer, I got to do this. No, he's out there looking for a shot. He's looking and seamlessly playing like he's been on the Heat for years. That's why it's so scary that he's this good. Come on, Zach. Scary that he's this good because he's just ready, and the readiness is helping a lot. That's nice. That's what I see him want to do more of, working out that mid post area. He's got a lot of moves. Like I really want to see how he progresses as a player because he's been extremely efficient too. 52% from the field, can knock down. He's got it all. He really does. He really does as a player. So his upside is, I think, it's a push-off or what? No, I don't think so. His upside is pretty high, especially in Miami's system. I mean, it's a team that went to the finals last year, obviously, an improbable run, but a run that it wasn't fluky because of their infrastructure. Maybe they got some matchups in the playoffs, and obviously Giannis got hurt in the first round, but they legitimately beat everybody. It wasn't like the Knicks basically returned the same year. Same team, cited a couple role players. The Heat just beat last year without Tyler Hero. So the fact that Jaquez can come in, I really want to see how his role adjusts once Tyler Hero eventually gets back. But I think that's tough. I think he's going to be a huge part of the rotation the entire year. I think they have to play him. I think even you have to consider starting him at some point. You really do. Look at him hit the dagger against the Bulls. It's a tough year for my Bulls, but that's a different story. Jaime Jaquez Jr.
You got the juice now, man.
Hey, he's up next. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is up next. I think he's definitely going to be an all-rookie team. Probably first team. He's one of the main candidates right now, obviously behind Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. A few other guys. A lot of rookies playing pretty decent this year. Sar Thompson of Detroit's not winning any games whatsoever. There's a lot of good rookies this year. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is one of the leaders of the class for sure. There's other episodes to DOG Hoops on YouTube. It's the Layup Game Hoops. So check us out for highlights. That Jaquez video I just showed you, that's going to be on the channel. A lot of fun stuff coming this year.